What's going on, everyone? My name's Patterrz, and welcome to my Mega Evolution tier list. Now, recently, the Guardian, another Pokemon YouTuber, uploaded a starter Pokemon tier list, and I kind of wanted to make a response to that with my own starter Pokemon tier list, but then I thought maybe I could do something a little bit different. And this, along with the fact that I see tier lists all the time on Twitter, made me want to make my own tier list for the Mega Evolutions, because there is a lot of Mega Evolutions in the Pokemon series, and it is one of my favorite parts about the Pokemon series, which hope and pray it'll be back with more Pokemon beginning Mega Evolutions in Generation 8. We'll have to wait and see what happens in that regard. But before we get into this, I do just want to quickly say that this is completely my opinion. It is not based off of strictly competitive stats. It is not based off strictly gameplay usage. It's based off of a lot of things, like, for example, competitive, my own use in competitive, the design of the Pokemon, my own use in playthroughs that I've done before on the channel, and etc., and more things like that. Just generally my opinions and my thoughts about all these Pokemon. And if you disagree, that's completely fine. You're encouraged to leave your own tier lists in the comment section below if you'd like to go through all the Mega Evolutions, which, when I started to make this list, there are actually a lot more than I thought. But hey, let's dive into it. So first, we got F through to S tier, and we're beginning at F tier. F tier is, of course, the lowest tier. I like to call it the trash tier. Now, I will say first that I generally like almost every Mega Evolution. I think that they're all pretty cool in their own way, and I really like the Mega Evolution mechanic. I do want to say that before we get into this, I generally like pretty much every Mega Evolution. So, when I say F tier, I mean the tier that is just not really great in comparison to some of the other ones. So let's dive into it. So, the F tier. So, we have a very small F tier. Like I said, I generally like most Mega Evolutions, and it was kind of hard to think of what to put in this. But immediately when it came to which is the lowest of low, thought to myself, hey, Mega Audino. Mega Audino it would be an understatement to say that Mega Audino is a disappointment. When it came to 5th generation Mega Evolutions, they had so much opportunity just in the palms of their hands. They took opportunity and they threw it down the well. And then they concreted up the well so no one could ever go down there ever again. And then they blew the well up and they have Mega Audino. Unfortunately, this is not this is one of the main Mega Evolutions that I dislike. From just top to bottom, I don't like Mega Audino. Also, we have Mega Abomasnow down here. Mega Abomasnow has a pretty ugly design. Like, I get it, I understand. Its typing has a terrible, terrible typing, and it's generally not that well used in competitive. Personally, I find Mega Abomasnow pretty annoying. The way that it brings in hail and generally doesn't excel in any kind of way just makes me not like it all that much. Next up, we have the E tier, which is the Y tier? The tier that for Mega Evolutions, it just makes me think, why though? But in this, again, it's a really small tier. Like I said, I like most Mega Evolutions. But we have Glalie and we have Aerodactyl. Now, I will say that I do like Glalie a lot as a Pokemon. It's been kind of a semi-mascot on the channel through a few Let's Plays. But generally, when I look at Mega Glalie, I'm just like, yeah, but why? I know it can do a few fun things. It does have the refrigerate ability, which makes it a lot, it can have some meme sets with explosion and stuff like that, and it can hit pretty hard with refrigerate double edge, but generally, I just don't see it as a very good Mega Evolution. Its stats are pretty mediocre at best, and it's not all that great. And also we have Aerodactyl in here because, while Aerodactyl isn't exactly like a terrible Pokemon, and Mega Aerodactyl is by no means a terrible Pokemon, I just have to think to myself, like, why? I mean, Mega Aerodactyl, it definitely improves on the original Aerodactyl, but not in huge ways, and you're generally better off running any kind of other Mega Evolution and having just a normal Aerodactyl on your team. I can see how it can be useful. Hone Claws, of course, making it a lot easier to hit those stone edges, and the Tough Claws being able to increase its damage a lot. But generally, Mega Aerodactyl's not really on my radar. Next up, we have D tier. Now, this is where we start, like, filling out the tiers a little bit. This is where we start to fill it out, and D tier isn't, awful, but it just makes me think the Pokemon in this tier, when I see their Mega Evolution, the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, yeah, he does have a Mega Evolution. I think that the D tier ones are kind of like the most forgettable ones. And I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying that because I know there's gonna be some favorites in here. Like I said, just my opinion. Doesn't matter. If you feel differently, that's totally okay. But in D tier, the first Pokemon we have in here is Mega Steelix, which generally doesn't excel in any way. I mean, it is incredibly bulky, is a very bulky steel type, which is generally what you want. But Steel and Ground's not the greatest typing in the world. And, I mean, it has a cool design. I will give it to Mega Steelix. It does have a very cool design, though most Mega Evolutions do. But generally, it's just not that fantastic, and I don't think I'd ever use one, personally. And then we have Mega Aggron. Again, a really cool design. Really like the design a lot. Has a pretty good ability, but generally, when I go for Mega Evolutions, I like things that have more reliable recovery, especially when it comes to the bulky ones, because if you have a bulky Pokemon, you want it to be able to heal itself, and of course, you can't give it an item to heal itself because it has the Mega Stone. So we have our Steelix here, our Mega Aggron here, as two very bulky steel types. Kind of cool, but I wouldn't choose them as my go-to steel types. Then we have Mega Slowbro, and let me know, I do love myself some Slowbro, and the design of this does make me question things a little bit. I always forget that Slowbro actually has a Mega Evolution, though, because I never see anyone use it. I never see anyone use it in Draft League. I never see anyone use it in playthroughs. It's just kind of like, it exists, yeah, but it's not really as at the forefront as other Mega Evolutions are. And then we have Mega Beedrill, which, again, Mega Beedrill, super cool design. Absolutely love it, but it is a one-trick pony. It's not that great. It's about as frail as a paper bag. You could take one down just as easily as you would, you know, when you're trying to carry in your shopping and your bag rips and it falls over the floor. That's literally a Beedrill. Literally the Mega Beedrill. That's what it is right there. Then we have Mega Ampharos, which, very cool idea. Love the hair, looking great. Did you do something new with the Mega Ampharos? Yeah, I noticed. Generally though, Mega Ampharos not really on my radar at all. I don't think I'd ever use it myself. It is kind of cool, though. We got Mega Sableye here, which is, again, it's just not the kind of thing I'd like to use. It's, when it comes to my style of play, it's just like not there for me. I mean, the diamond coming out of its chest is a little bit weird. How does it fit a diamond in there? I mean, it's a ghost. Probably change its size at will, to be honest. So it's not fantastic, but I mean, hey, it's there, I guess. Camerupt, again, it's another Mega Evolution that just sits and looks at me, and it's just kind of there. I don't think I'd ever use it. Generally, you don't use it in competitive unless you're running like a doubles Trick Room team, in which case it can be very powerful, but apart from that, no. You know, just no. Mega Banette, another Mega Evolution. I mean, Mega Banette is cool, it has a lot of attack there, but its speed really lets it down. It doesn't have a huge amount of bulk, so it can't really take those hits. It does have the things like the Destiny Bond that it can abuse, but really the abuse of Destiny Bond only means that you're going to be trading one for one anyway. So not particularly fantastic, though it was a decent idea enough. Mega Garchomp is probably one of the biggest letdowns when it comes to Mega Evolutions. While it does have a very, very, very cool design, if not a little bit impractical, and it just has blades for arms. You know, a lot of Pokemon do, though. It is a huge letdown because it's actually better off to just run normal Garchomp and having a different Mega Evolution, because the drop in speed is a huge hit to it. You might be like, oh, but it gets so much more attack and special attack, and yeah, that's true. But the drop in speed, especially in competitive, really puts it under where it wants to be. It goes from 102 to 92, and that's a really big drop in competitive. In playthroughs, it can be really, really, really powerful, but of course it has that quad types weakness to ice, which, speaking of quad types weakness to ice, so does Mega Sceptile. I know I'm gonna annoy a lot of people by saying this, but Mega Sceptile is not really that great. I've never liked Mega Sceptile. In fact, I've never really liked Sceptile in general. I just don't. But then we have the C tier here, and C tier is where we're getting into like, oh, okay, now these guys would be cool to use. Now we're getting into the real bulk of the sweetness of Mega Evolution here. Now, Mega Altaria, one of these Pokemon that I've generally wanted to use quite a bit, though it's not fantastic in any way. It does have some decent bulk. It has some decent potential with Pixelate. It is kind of cool, and the Dragon Fairy typing is really, really nice. I do like Mega Altaria a little bit more than I think most people, actually, considering that it is pretty forgotten in terms of Mega Evolutions. Then we have Mega Absol, which again, you know, like Mega Ampharos, cool little hairdo you got going on there. I appreciate that. But you are, again, like Beedrill, about as sturdy as a wet paper bag, and you can be torn apart just as quickly. Though I do like the kind of angelic wings that they have. They did put a lot of effort into the designs of a lot of these evolutions, and I do appreciate that quite a bit. But Absol, again, not a Pokemon I'd be super into. Now, Mega Houndoom is an interesting one. I like the whole Hellhound. I like how they expanded the whole Hellhound idea. and I like Dark and Fire type. Those are my two favorite typings, but it's just not cool enough to really bump it above C tier. I think it's pretty comfortable down in C tier. You can run it on a really nice Sun Tomb if you want to, you know, take advantage of its ability. But the fact that its ability is pretty much restricted to Sun teams kind of holds it back a bit, I think. And then we have Mega Kangaskhan, and this really shows why this is my opinion list and not a straight competitive list. Because if this was a straight competitive list, Mega Kangaskhan would be super, super, super high. But it's not. Mega Kangaskhan is one of the most boring Mega Evolutions I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, all of these other Mega Evolutions I just said have such cool designs, and I feel like a lot of thought went into it. And then they came to Kangaskhan, and they were just like, what can we do for Kangaskhan? And we're just like, why don't we just take the baby out of the pouch? What? Really? That's it? That's what you came up with? I don't know, dude. Who made up the design for Mega Kangaskhan? I just want to talk, dude. I just want to talk, because that is a pretty pitiful design. I'm gonna be honest. Really, really boring. I can't put it anywhere above C, even though I know it's a fantastic Pokemon. And then we have Mega Blastoise. Now, I love Blastoise a lot, but it's another Mega Evolution that just never really super duper appealed to me. I know it has that bulk, has a decent amount of speed, it can function as a rapid spinner, and that's all nice and good, and with the Mega Launcher, it makes Water Pulse just as powerful as Surf. But at the same time, when it comes to Mega Evolutions, I do like my reliable recovery for my bulkier dudes, and I know this can be used really, really effectively, but not really my thing. And I wish, you know, this will be a tier higher if they just, in the animations, use the giant Mega Launcher on his back instead of his mouth. I'm pretty sure Hydro Pump comes out of Mega Blastoise's mouth when you have that giant launcher on your back. So sad. Mega Sharpedo has never really been on my radar. In fact, that's another Pokemon where I just kind of forgot that it even had a Mega Evolution, but it is really cool. And then with the speed boost before Mega Evolving, and then having this, I think it believes it had Strong Jaw after it Mega Evolves, becomes really, really powerful and really speedy. Too bad it's kind of got Mega Beedrill syndrome that it just has these really frail defenses. And speaking of frail defenses, we got Mega Alakazam here as well. Always something I've wanted to use, but I could never justify it because it's so weak to so many things. Like any form of priority, Mega Alakazam just crumples. It's really sad because it has such good special attack and such good potential. It has pretty decent special bulk too, but if people are gonna prep for it, for example, in a draft league, then you can't really do much. But in terms of actual in-game play, Mega Alakazam is insane. If you bring it on something that you're decent against, then you're pretty much gonna one-shot it every single time. Every single day of the week, you're gonna one-shot that thing. And I really like Mega Alakazam's design. Now, I have Mega Heracross, which could be good if it had a little bit more speed. I don't really agree with the design, but I like the idea of a Mega Evolution that takes advantage of the 2 to 5 turn hit moves and has skill link. I really like the idea of that. And plus, it is very physically good. That was good, Daniel. It's very physically offensive, which is really, really nice to use. And I like Heracross in general. I think Heracross is a fantastic Pokemon in general. That's why it's in the C tier. Then we have Mega Pidgeot, which just is there. It's very run-of-the-mill. It's very average. It's just kind of there. If maybe Mega Pidgeot had a better move pool, or it had a more bulk, or just like something else. I mean, it has No God, which is nice for No God Hurricanes, but it's a really one-trick pony. And also, No God Hurricanes means that the stone edges coming your way are never gonna miss. So keep that in mind as well. But Mega Pidgeot, it's a cool concept. It just wasn't executed very well, I don't think. And Mega Scizor, very run-of-the-mill. Very ineffective, I believe, in Draft League. Though in normal competitive, it can see some pretty good use if people don't prepare their teams ahead of time for Fire-type moves or just don't have Fire-type moves in their team. This can be really, really good. But generally, I don't see Mega Scizor as a fantastic Mega Evolution. Though I do like Scizor in general. I do like it in general. Then we have Mega Gallade, which I feel like could really shine if given the opportunity. Though I have never had the opportunity to really use it. That's why I had to place it in the C tier. Though I do like the idea of it. I like the cape. It has a sort of superhero theme going with it, which I really do enjoy. And then we have Mega Tyranitar, which the design of Mega Tyranitar completely confuses me and I don't understand it whatsoever, but it's there, I guess. And again, I don't like these Mega Evolutions that don't really have so much reliable recovery and they're supposed to be bulky, but you can D-dance on this thing. It does have pretty good bulk to begin with, but it has pretty much every single weakness under the sun as well, which makes it very easy to prep for. But if you get this thing in a good position, Dragon Dance once or twice, you're pretty much gonna win the game. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then we have the B tier, and the B tier is the, okay, now we're getting into it. That's why I like to refer to this tier as. I think it's a good name. I hope you'll agree. But in the B tier, we have a lot of really, really nice Mega Evolutions here. So we have Mega Mewtwo X. I think Mega Mewtwo X isn't amazing, though it is a Mega Evolution for a Mewtwo, which should put it basically in S tier by itself. Personally, I don't really like Mega Mewtwo X all that much. I didn't really see the point of Mega Mewtwo X, and generally when you think of Mega Mewtwo, you just think why? That's instantly what your mind goes to. While it can be good in Ubers, it's just kind of there, and it didn't really need to be. So there you go, Mega Mewtwo X. Then we have Mega Pinsir, which is a vicious looking thing. I absolutely love how this thing is designed. I like how it got the flying typing. I think that was a really, really cool idea, though it does give it that quad weakness to rock and stealth rocks, which is pretty unfortunate, but I absolutely love the design. And love the idea that it has aerial ace, so let's boosted quick attacks and boosted returns and everything under the sun that you can think of gets, all the normal type moves get boosted, so that's fantastic. We have Mega Swampert, which I love Swampert. I like the big arms idea. It looks like it punched pretty hard. But at the same time, Mega Swampert is generally best reserved for rain teams, and that's kind of it. Now, you can run it on a different team, but generally you probably don't want to. You probably want to reserve that spot for another Mega Evolution. But on a rain team, this thing is absolutely insane. It gets that double speed and the boosted water type moves, which is really, really good. And speaking of weather, we've got Mega Charizard Y in here too. Now, Mega Charizard Y was actually, when they were first revealed, it was my favorite of the two Charizard Mega Evolutions. I thought it was really cool. I love the design, and I love how it was more of an extension of Charizard rather than an alternate universe Charizard. I really did like that, and the Sun, of course, if you're running a Sun team, this is a super, super, super good mon to have on it. Though it's sad that you can't run Mega Charizard Y and Mega Houndoom on the same team unless you're running like, for example, if you're playing on the MBL, which allows 2 Mega Evolutions. But Mega Charizard Y is still super, super cool. It is pretty sad that it doesn't get a speed boost. I think it could really benefit from getting a speed boost. And if it did get a speed boost, it probably would be A or maybe even S tier. But it is just sitting there 100 base speed, which is, pretty sad. Then we have Mega Lucario, which is a fantastic evolution. Though I've never really had the opportunity to use it much. I do appreciate the design, though I think it is pretty kind of generic. It is cool. It is incredibly powerful with adaptability. And it's just kind of there. I do like how they kind of focus on it when it comes to Mega Evolution in X and Y, though I feel like it may have gotten just a little bit too much attention when there's so many other things that could have been, focused on a little bit more. Then we have Mega Diancie, which was really a surprise. I didn't think Diancie, way back in the day, I didn't think Diancie was gonna get a Mega Evolution, but here we are. And I did try and use it in one of my draft leagues, and I feel like I didn't know how to use it properly. And this was before you got the first turn speed boost of Mega Evolution, so of course that was a big buff to Diancie. But quad weaknesses really get you, and quad weaknesses that are also coupled with priority moves like Bullet Punch to get this thing, very, very scary indeed. But 160 in both of its attacking stats and 110 base speed, pretty good, I will say, pretty good. And it does have the magic bounce. You can play around this really cool little Mega Evolution, but I just don't think I can use it well. I don't think it's with my play style. That's why I put it in B. Then we have Mega Blaziken, which I know a lot of people are gonna like a lot. Generally, wasn't my favorite. I do think it's cool. I do think it's very powerful, but at the end of the day, it's something that got a little bit too much attention when, they introduced this in X and Y, and I know they probably had the idea of doing the other two with Oras, but they could have just all done it together in Oras. It seems like there was too much of a little teacher's pet favorites situation going on with Blaziken. It was pretty obvious from the get-go. And we have Mega Medicham, which I get fantastic Mega Evolution Mega Medicham, especially with Pure Power, making it the second hardest hitting Pokemon in the game. Absolutely fantastic. It is a shame that it doesn't get more of a speed boost. I think it could benefit to being over 100 base speed, but its typing is solid. Its moveset is solid. It does get Fake Out. Really, really good mon. Would love to try it out one day. And then we have Mega Gardevoir. Again, one of the coolest Mega Evolutions, I think, though it doesn't really have much of a change to its design. I think that the whole wedding dress situation was really cool, and I love its shiny. I think its shiny is fantastic. And the fairy typing obviously benefits Gardevoir so much. And of course, you got that Pixelate Hyper Voice, which is absolutely amazing. If it was a little bit faster, again, like Mega Medicham and a lot of other evolutions, I think it would be a bit higher. But then again, that's probably why they kept it lower speed, so it wasn't too powerful. I totally get that, I understand that. It's very specially bulky too. Not too much in the way of recovery, which also kind of hinders it a little bit. If it got like Recover, I'm sure it would be a lot more powerful. but it is just kind of there. Now, Mega Manectric. Now, I've been using this recently in the MBL, and I have to say, I absolutely love Mega Manectric. The thing that really brings it down to B tier is its design. I don't like Mega Manetric's design. I get it, you know, big Thunderbolt, haha, that's great, right? Yeah, but it looks dumb. That's the problem. It looks really, really, really dumb. But after Mega Evolving, it intimidates, which is absolutely fantastic, and a fast electric type is exactly what you need in things like competitive and draft league. And also, it having Lightning Rod before it Mega Evolves, really, really beneficial too, because you know you can safely bring it in electric type moves pretty much no matter what. Gyarados is an absolute beast. When this thing was first revealed, I look at its design and I was like, that's a giant shrimp. And now I look at it, I'm like, that's a beast. That is a monster of a thing right there. I would love to be able to use this one day. I think the type change really sets it above some other Mega Evolutions, because you start off with it, throwing it into the battle, it has Intimidate immediately, and it's a water flying type. But when you Mega Evolve, it turns into a water dark type. So you have this mind games when you're using it. It's like, am I gonna Mega Evolve? Am I not gonna Mega Evolve? If I don't Mega Evolve, I'm immune to ground type, but I'm quad weak to electric type. So if I Mega Evolve, I'll get that special defense boost and be able to take electric type moves better. Like, it's a really cool little mind game that you can use with this. You can't really do the same with a lot of other Mega Evolutions. It just doesn't have that typing change that really does the mind games with your opponent. And then last but not least, in this tier, we have ourselves our Mega Lopunny, which is really, really cool. I like these offensive, fast Mega Evolutions. And the fighting type really benefits Mega Lopunny, I believe, a lot. Of course, the Scrappy being able to high jump kick pretty much anything in the game is super, super valuable. And then we have the A tier, the it's too overpowered, we need it to be nerfed tier, which is absolute powerhouses here. Let's just run through them real quickly. So first off, we have Salamence, who pretty much has never seen the light of day and anything below Ubers in terms of Smogon, and super popular in VGC. Absolutely fantastic mon. Has amazing defenses, absolutely incredible defenses. Really, really, really nice abilities there. Really good offensive typing. You know, the Dragon Flying type, pretty common for Dragon types, but works pretty well. It does give it that nice little 4 times quad weakness to Ice, which is unfortunate, and the Rock weakness, which also kind of sucks, but you can deal with that using other strategies, and this thing is an absolute monster. Then we have Mega Metagross, which again, absolute beast. Same situation as Salamence, actually, has super, super good defense, has really, really nice speed, and of course, its attack is amazing. This thing is an absolute monster, and it's not confusing at all as to why this thing is banned in most things, for the most part. Then we have Mega Gengar, which you can't look at Mega Gengar and say that that isn't one of the coolest designs you've ever seen. Also, its shiny form, really, really, really nice. And Mega Gengar is one of those Mega Evolutions where you have that fast, speedy attacker, but you also have Shadow Tag. So as soon as you throw this in as a revenge killer to avenge one of your fallen Pokemon, immediately, you know you're getting a kill. And whatever comes in next, you hope that's not gonna switch. It's not gonna switch, it's not gonna be able to switch. Mega Gengar is fantastic. I love it how it opens the third eye. It's like so much smarter now because it has 3 eyes. And then we have Mega Latios and Latias. I just put these in the same place. I think they're both fantastic Mega Evolutions, honestly. I really don't have much to say about them as you know, they're just really good. They're fantastic. And we have Mega Charizard X. Like I said, I did like Y before, like when they were first released. But now that I've gotten some time to really get used to them, I do think that Mega Charizard X is the better Mega Evolution. Though I would love to see Y get some kind of buff in some way to kind of put it on par with X. Though unfortunately, since there's no abilities in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it's just not gonna have Drought, and also X isn't gonna have Tough Claws. So that's really unfortunate. So they're both getting nerfed. Say, hey, none of them, one can't be better than the other if we nerf both of them, right? And then we have the S tier, the gods of Mega Evolution, at least in my opinion. Anyway, this is a completely opinionated list. And we have Venusaur, Mega Venusaur, one of my favorites, absolute favorites. I love Mega Venusaur so much. I already do. I have used it 2 seasons in a row. Now, Venusaur is my no, not 2 seasons in a row, sorry. I've used it 2 seasons of draft leagues. I absolutely love it. It fits my playstyle pretty well. It is super bulky, as it pretty much never dies in the right situation. If you know how to play around with it right and get the EVs and IVs right, so you take those hits. It is a Pokemon that I have grown to love over the years, and it's actually the reason why Venusaur is now my favorite, or Bulbasaur is now my favorite Kanto style, which used to be Squirtle, but now it's Bulbasaur because I think Mega Venusaur is incredible. It losing its thick fat in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee will make it a little bit less useful, but still, absolutely fantastic Pokemon, incredibly bulky. And we have Mega Mewtwo Y. I don't really think there's a whole lot to say about Mega Mewtwo Y. You know, it looks like Frieza. It's cool. It's insanely specially powerful. You know, there's that. And Mega Rayquaza, which is obviously S tier. Obviously S tier. This thing is absolutely incredibly strong. This thing had its own tier made for it called Anything Goes because it was too powerful for Ubers. Seriously, this thing is crazy good. And you may be wondering, but wait, Daniel, there's one missing. You haven't touched on one just yet. Well, we have my number one, my favorite. If this is gonna be a tier list, I'm gonna put my favorite at the top. And my favorite Mega Evolution is Mega Mawile. I love Mega Mawile. I think it's a really, really cool design. I don't know what it is about it, but as soon as I saw it, as soon as I started playing through X and Y for the first time, I looked at Mawile, I was like, that one's my favorite. I absolutely love it. It has huge power, which actually makes it the hardest hitter unboosted in the game. You know, if you don't include things like, you know, Choice Banded, I don't even know, Choice Banded Mega Rayquaza, unboosted, just straight up by itself with its ability. It is the hardest hitter in the game by a wide margin, by about like 100 points to Mega Mewtwo X. Mega Medicham is the second hardest hitter in the game. It has a fantastic typing. Steel Fairy type is an amazing typing. Has a really, really good moveset. You know, you have that Sucker Punch for the priority to make up for the fact that it has low speed. And also, I mean, it doesn't have the best bulk in the world, but it's still a fantastic Mon. I absolutely love it. That was my Mega Evolution tier list. And I was talking a little bit longer than I expected to be, but I'm glad that I got to have this conversation with you guys. And like I said, it is a conversation, so if you would like to leave your Mega Evolution tier lists in the comment section below, I would love to see them. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Once again, quick shout out to Guardian for doing his starter tier listings and kind of giving me the inspiration to make this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.